right, hey. So, I am actually on location at Loyal Coffee in downtown Colorado Springs. And I just thought I'd get out of the office and go through the third life lesson for a creative in this series of the life lessons of a creative. So, let's get going. All right, so the creative life lesson number 3 is be grateful. I'm going to read a little scripture about being prayerful and grateful. And it's from Colossians 4:2, and it says, devote yourselves to prayer, being watchful and thankful. So this very thing about being grateful, it's something that I've tried to posture myself to be a lot in my life, but I feel like recently I've gotten to the point where I'm starting to understand like what being grateful actually does. So it's not necessarily like a type of respect thing, or it's not something that you should do in November, like Thanksgiving week or something, like being grateful and like saying what you're thankful for. Although those are good things, I think that being grateful is a daily way to posture yourself in order to open yourself and your life up to things to happen. So, this being grateful thing is more of a daily attitude to have so that you can allow the good things, the things that are in your environment, the good things to come in, and also whatever is in you that is good that needs to come out can come out. It's kind of like a doorway. So think of being grateful as and not only an attitude but like a physical door to yourself, to your heart, to what could come out of your heart that is awesome and can help people, and also what can come in from your environment that can help nourish your life. It's really about being healthy in your mind and your heart. So that's the main point that I want to make about gratefulness. So the reason I keep repeating like being prayerful is that yes, being healthy in your mind as well as your heart is important, but sometimes, especially I feel like in our adult state, we let things kind of like come in. So we let things come into our mind, and then because of the things we learn, we start to kind of cloud not your judgment, but you kind of cloud like your heart and the way your heart feels. So if if the things of your mind can kind of infiltrate your heart, and then that's what like you're operating out of, it's very difficult to really know like what your heart wants or your heart needs and what your soul needs. And it's hard to see like even the hearts of other people around you and to see like what they might need. So being prayerful is good because you can posture yourself and kind of lead your heart into a good place. So you want your heart to be in a good place when you're trying to cultivate an attitude of gratefulness in your life. Um, and because your mind can get clouded, you have to kind of set yourself up. And that's what prayer does. Prayer sets yourself up for a better attitude. Praying allows you to sort through your mind and search your heart. It allows you to uncover and discover a lot of things that otherwise your thoughts can kind of block. So I feel like whenever you're going through like creative block, what's really happening is that your mind is going overtime and maybe it's just running away with you, when you need to kind of separate yourself from that. Like, you need to stop thinking in your left side of your brain, like your cognitive functions, your logic, and everything like that. And you need to start thinking with the right side of your brain, which is connected to like emotions and creativity and like newness and innovativeness and like things that don't necessarily make sense within measurements or parameters. So it's like imagination and stuff like that. I wrote something down here and it says, being watchful and thankful is a challenge for you to be present, hungry, and move into your desires from the posture of prayer. So being mindful and being watchful, two different things. Being watchful is kind of like knowing, like seeing like the shift in you where you're like you've dropped out of being in that attitude of gratefulness. And then being mindful is more so being in tune, like spiritually, like from the inside. So your mindfulness comes from like how you feel inside, when your watchfulness comes from like seeing maybe how you're being, or seeing like how people are reacting to you. So making sure that you're in a thankful place, a grateful place, is the challenge, because you have to be present. You have to always be like keen on those things. The more you practice it, the better you get at it, and the more you don't have to like be so mindful or watchful, because obviously you're creating these habits of like first thing in the day, getting up and then maybe being like in a quiet time and then praying about like what you're grateful for, or what you're thankful for from maybe the day before, or maybe what you're like trying to manifest into your life, like what you're trying to make happen. So like if I'm in a bad mood and I get up in the morning and I'm like, I really don't want to do this. And I know I really should, because if I'm in a funk or if I'm feeling terrible, then I need to kind of visualize my future changing. So like my future changing into something more positive and more grateful, and being more thankful for the things that are to come into my life. So that's why I say it's like a door that you have to like open up, because you have to, whenever you're feeling terrible, or you're feeling down, or you're feeling like there's a block, then you have to allow for the good things that come into your life to hopefully change your perspective on like where you're at, because sometimes it's just really hard. uh, it's really hard not to let like the life things affect like where you are or where you're going, like those things are trying to distract you away from what you're doing, when what you're doing is really the positive thing, and you need to continue, and you need to like go through that and endure through that hardship in order to get to like the good stuff. I hope that makes sense. So this is a little short one, because being grateful is just something that you should be doing. Like, it should be a habit. I've tried to make it more a habit, like at the beginning of my day, just because it'll set me up better throughout the day. And when it becomes a habit, then it's not rocket science. Like, it's just something that becomes so natural. And then you start to see like that change happen in your life, where things are like becoming better, and you'll start to see all like the good stuff, and the good stuff will outweigh the bad, and it'll outweigh like the life things that happen to you. So when life things do happen to you, you're in a better mood, in a better position, and you won't let that like eat you up inside. And that really, whenever things eat you up inside, that becomes a distraction for what you want to do, or what you want to create, or what you want to cultivate. So I'm going to challenge you guys to come up with a way to have like a quiet time and to really just kind of pray and look inside your heart and see like where you're at. And maybe if you're not in a good place, then you can posture yourself up to open yourself up more to good things and things to be grateful for. Or if you are in a good place, you can just have more of it and more abundantly. The abundant life is like what we're after, right? We want to be fulfilled. So, what better way to do that than to make ourselves available to those good things and for that to just kind of snowball into more good things for the future, more good things to come. Um, and yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to say for today. So I hope that you have a good day, and I hope that on your journey to becoming more grateful, that you have no obstacles and that you can get to that thing lightning fast and start to enjoy the things that are deep inside of you that haven't come out yet. All right, have a good day.